Below are the 10 most dangerous countries in the world. The majority of these countries have a Level 3 or Level 4 travel advisory from the U.S. Department of State. Number 1. Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the most dangerous country in the world, according to the 2019 Global Peace Index. According to the UN peacekeeping mission in Afghanistan, the country experienced 3,804 civilian deaths in conflict, 927 of who are children. Afghanistan experiences deadly attacks from the Taliban across the country, and the US is now in its 19th year of war in Afghanistan. Afghanistan has the highest number of deaths from war and terrorism than any other country in the world. Number 2. Syria. Syria is the second most dangerous country in the world. Syria only recently was put in second by Afghanistan. The Syrian civil war has plagued the country since March 2011 and has been the second deadliest war of the 21st century. An estimated 470,000 people, including 55,000 children, have been killed in the Syrian conflict. High levels of violence have been persistent throughout Syria, including the use of small arms, tanks, chemical weapons, artillery, and aircraft. As of March 2021, 5.7 million people have fled Syria and over 6 million have been displaced internally. Number 3. Iraq. The third most dangerous country in the world is Iraq. Iraq continues to have both internal and external conflicts, including likely terrorist attacks. ISIS continues to capture and kill civilians and Iraqi armed forces. Other human rights violations, including violations of freedom of assembly and women's rights, have persisted. U.S. citizens visiting Iraq are at particularly high risk for violence and kidnapping and are a target of anti-U.S. sectarian militias throughout Iraq. Number 4. South Sudan. South Sudan is the fourth most dangerous country in the world. South Sudan has ongoing conflict, civil unrest, and widespread violent crime, including robberies, assaults, carjacking, and kidnappings. Armed conflict exists mostly between the government and opposition groups, with little to no rule of law or order outside the country's capital of Juba. Areas near South Sudan's borders with Sudan, Kenya, Central African Republic, and so on, are particularly dangerous. Additionally, South Sudan is at high risk for climate disasters. Number 5. South Africa. The fifth most dangerous country in the world is South Africa. This southern Africa country is not safe at all, especially to the foreign nationals. Looting shops and xenophobia is very popular in this country. South Africa has got total population of over 60 million people. Most recently, the looting of businesses, shopping centers, and warehouses has been taking place at an unprecedented scale. It has affected both poor and middle-class areas. Private and government property has been damaged and destroyed. People have been injured and lives have been lost. Looting, xenophobia and service delivery protests make South Africa to be a dangerous country for one to stay.
To disperse protesters in the township of Alexandra in Johannesburg. The district has been rocked by 2 nights of xenophobic violence, and it has spread to neighboring townships. Several people have been killed. Shops belonging to foreigners were burnt and looted. Such attacks have been frequent in recent years in a country where the unemployment rate is nearly 28%.
So like that, 6 months, 3 months is gone, again is broken, government no action, so how to standing there, who give it life? Just last night, I call police is open my gate, I coming out. If you know police not coming, is a beginning is dead. Me and my uncle.
Local representatives visited Alexandra and condemned the violence.
There's a xenophobic sentiment underlying this about foreigners having to leave. We are a democracy, we are a democratic society. We can't allow people to take the law into their own hands. There is no country that doesn't have foreign nationals.
President Cyril Ramaphosa, in a video posted on Twitter, said xenophobic violence was unacceptable. His Nigerian counterpart Muhammadu Buhari expressed deep concern over attacks against Nigerians in South Africa. He has dispatched a special envoy to the country. Immigration from across the continent and Southeast Asia increased in the early 1990s, after the end of apartheid rule and the initial economic boom that followed. The worst wave of xenophobic violence was in 2008, when more than 60 people were reportedly killed.
Number 6. Somalia. Somalia is the sixth most dangerous country in the world. Somalia has high kidnapping risks in all parts of the country. Terror attacks are likely at Mogadishu International Airport, government buildings, hotels, and restaurants. Foreigners, government officials, and UN workers are significant targets of these attacks. Somalia's droughts and food shortages have compounded the already unstable environment, and security and effective police forces are absent. Number 7. Libya. Libya is the seventh most dangerous country in the world. Libya has experienced high levels of crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, armed conflict, and terrorism. The violence in Libya is mostly caused by military that continue to clash with one another over territory and resources. ISIS has carried out several attacks that killed both civilians and security force members. The capital, Tripoli, and other large cities such as Suman, Al-Jufra, Misrata, Ajdabiya, and Benghazi have been frequent locations of fighting among militias and terrorist attacks. Number 8. Democratic Republic of the Congo. The eighth most dangerous country in the world is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The DRC recently experienced an Ebola outbreak, which has claimed over 2,200 lives, according to the World Health Organization. The ability of health workers to provide care to treat Ebola patients has been hindered by the violence occurring in the DRC. Demonstrations are common in cities around the country and often turn violent. Violent crimes are common as well, such as armed home invasion, robberies, and assault, and police lack the resources to effectively respond to crime. Number 9. Central African Republic. The Central African Republic is the ninth most dangerous country in the world. Despite a peace agreement signed in 2017, chaos in the country has continued to grow and spread. The main source of unrest in the Central African Republic is the clash between the Seleka rebels and the anti-Balaka militia. The conflict has displaced 620,000 people internally and created 570,000 refugees leaving to neighboring countries. Kidnappings are widespread, as are reports of violence, looting, and human rights abuses across the country. Number 10. Russia. Russia is the 10th most dangerous country in the world. Russia's high militarization contributes to its position on the list, along with having one of the highest per capita rates of weapons exports. Russia, unlike the other countries on this list, has a Level 2 travel advisory from the U.S. Department of State to exercise increased caution when visiting. Russia is susceptible to transnational and local terrorist groups, and individuals inspired by extremist ideologies. Russian officials have also arbitrarily detained U.S. citizens, who may become victims of harassment or extortion.